The state may soon directly oversee the Austin Independent School District's Special Education Department. Now, this all comes after the Texas Education Agency found the district was breaking federal and state law by not evaluating students for special needs services within the mandated time period. And tonight, AISD parents will have a chance to learn more about that change. The district is hosting a public meeting at the central office that's off of I-35 Frontage Road, and that meeting starts at 6:45. AISD says it has until April 17th to appeal that decision. The district says while there are some problems, they've also seen signs of improvement.
I would tell you that as an organization, we have made tremendous progress over the last several months, but it has been an ongoing challenge for this organization for years.
And if the conservatorship happens, there will be 2 to 3 state workers evaluating what led to this backlog. Then they'll make some recommendations. Investigative reporter Kelly Wiley obtained that report showing some students waiting months for an initial evaluation. You've been following this for months. So what's the latest here?
Well, the first thing to know is that students can't get access to the full array of special needs services until they get this evaluation. Next, once a parent gives consent, districts are required by law to complete these evaluations within 45 days. Well, this report shows, at least within the last 3 school years, Austin ISD was in some cases delaying evaluations anywhere from 5 to 9 months after getting parental consent. And that's, again, according to this report. The most recent numbers from late March show the district had a backlog of more than 1,800 overdue evaluations, according to district officials. These are kids suspected of having dyslexia, ADHD, being on the autism spectrum.
Okay, so you mentioned this has really been going on for at least 3 years. I know our coverage has been extensive on it, and that's according to the report. So just walk us through the action that TEA has taken against Austin ISD thus far.
Well, part of what TEA said in this report is since 2020, they've been issuing them these corrective reports, basically detailing what they need to do to come in compliance. And part of what they said in this report is that time and time again, they've given AISD a year to come into compliance, and they've not done so. But as we reported months ago, the problem really has not improved. What Austin ISD is saying is that this is really an issue of workforce. They said over the weekend they have 51 current vacant positions for diagnosticians and therapists who could actually do these evaluations, because not everyone can. These are specific people. And as we know, it's not an AISD issue. Schools across the state are experiencing huge retention issues, particularly in special education.
Okay, and so right now here you have a soundbite explaining some of this.
Right now we have 72 positions and only 21 of them are filled. And so when you think about the fact that only 250 of them are licensed within Central Texas, it's a challenge for an organization of our size to get the number that we need to be able to perform the work. So we've been looking at identifying different types of incentives to get them into AISD.
Okay, since this news broke on Friday, leaders were really quick to point out that this is not a full district takeover like what we've seen in Houston ISD.
That is correct. It is not the situation that's going on in Houston ISD. Houston ISD is facing the state appointing a new school board, pretty much, and a superintendent. That's not what's happening here. But it is also important to point out that at the very end of this report, TEA makes a very specific clarification, and that is to say they reserve the right to implement more state intervention if they deem it necessary within state statute. And that basically means a takeover like what happened at Houston ISD is not completely off the table. It may never be implemented, but it is an option that they have. This format that we're seeing with Austin ISD, this is conservators, a management team. It's a less extreme type of state intervention that the Texas Education Agency has to use when these type of situations come up where school districts aren't in compliance or they're violating some state or federal law.
Okay, and that was a pretty lengthy report, and you dug through all of that, and I know you'll continue following this as we progress. Thanks, Kelly.